I look beautiful. GFan84, and today we're going to be talking about -1. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright, -1. I went Saturday. I know I was late to the show. I didn't go opening day, but that's when my family didn't have work and we could all go as a family and watch it. Here's the ticket stub. Now, we went to a local AMC movie theater and they didn't have any posters. They didn't even have the -1 poster on the wall where they preview the movies of what's happening. So that's kind of a bummer. I wanted to take a picture and show it to you guys that I was there. So I guess the receipt there is going to have to suffice. Now, as you can see on the table, I got the ride with me. Closest iteration, if not pretty spot on, except maybe the color texture. It's more of a tannish color. Now, without further ado, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you don't want to watch it, you haven't seen it, please, please, please click off. Because this is going to entail pretty much everything in the movie as much as I can. I'm going to try to make this a short little review. I don't want it to be that long. So let's get right into this. Starting off, we are so used to the Godzilla titles and opening scene. Not in this movie. A lot of things. Oh yeah, but before I go any farther, here's a Godzilla -1 because of Cavity Tees. They have great Godzilla t-shirts. This isn't paid sponsorship or anything. Nice quality, affordable, $30 for this t-shirt. Pick it up if you like it. I'll put a link in the description. It starts off with World War II, kamikaze rider. And he avoids going into war because he's scared. Nobody wants to just sacrifice their life. I cannot blame him at all, 100%. So he says there's something wrong with his plane. And there we go. We start to see our first glimpses into the big G, right? Or should I say little G at this point? Dead fishes. I'm guessing from radiation, maybe. Well, it can't be radiation. So we don't really know why there's dead fishes in the water. But that is the first sign. They start to see dead fish all around the shoreline. And then there we go. Wow. We got to see, I'm going to call him Godzilla Rex, right? Because he's still a dinosaur phase. He's not the Godzilla that we know. So Godzilla Rex has all this mouth slobber. And wow, was he terrifying. I never thought a Godzilla was as terrifying as this Godzilla Rex. Shen is a little terrifying the way his mouth is formed, his teeth coming out. But overall, this Godzilla Rex was terrifying. And the way he moved, he was quick and just straight to the bite and rip and throw. So he makes an appearance. Our main protagonist, now I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, so I'm not going to even try to attempt it. As you know, there's no English dubbed to how to pronounce it correctly, so I'm not going to attempt it. He is supposed to shoot him down with 30 cal bullets, and his platoon, or the mechanic's platoon, gets annihilated by Godzilla Rex, and he's just so terrified, he locks up. He couldn't do it. Quite frankly, if I see a 30-foot dinosaur, I think I would pretty much be horrified too. So I cannot blame him for not shooting him. But I do believe, now if you've seen how the rifle shots from those mechanics was hitting him, he was taking damage. He was getting hurt. So I think if that 30 cal from that machine would have hit him, there wouldn't have been a story from that point. It would have killed Godzilla right there. So the Americans do a explosion on this island, and then you see Godzilla's face, eye, and you see the bomb, the mushroom cloud. So I think that's how Godzilla here gets his form, powers, etc., is from that nuclear bomb. And the main character comes back from the aftermath of the war, and he finds out his parents are dead and his neighbor's kids are dead, and she blames him for being a coward and not doing his job to be a kamikaze. Soon he goes to a local soup shop and he gets handed a baby. And then he comes across this woman who later on becomes his housemate. They have emotionally bonded, but he does not marry her, or really claim the kid as being his kid. So he's just looking at them as roommates, but deep down, he does romantically love her and want to father the kid. So he gets a job as a bomb exploder for all the Japanese and American bombs that were left in the ocean. And then, eventually, we get to see Godzilla again. And wow, was this amazing. I'm going to sum some of this up, so I don't want this video to be too long. Godzilla comes roaring in, swimming in. First time we really got to see Godzilla outside of the MonsterVerse swim since 2000, right? And this was even a better iteration of it. Almost on point with MonsterVerse, Godzilla swimming in the ocean. He had a bomb mine stuck in his jaw, and the main guy shot it and just blew his whole side of the face open. And wow, did his Wolverine powers kick in. His regenerative abilities was crazy. I'm going to say it right here, right now. This Godzilla -1 would destroy Shin in MonsterVerse version, I believe. He is a monster, all intents and purposes. They stop him, they get away, yada yada yada. And then a bunch of build up between the characters. You've seen more character build between the main character, the girl living with him, a little bit of the daughter, and the next door neighbor. The next door neighbor forgives him, that becomes the babysitter, the nanny. You've seen some bond between him and his boat crewmates, which the professor on there becomes a valuable role into the military's plan or this government's plan to stop Godzilla. Now he hatches a plan to sink Godzilla, to quickly sink him, so that way the pressure of the ocean just sort of annihilates him. Now he has a plan B in case everything goes wrong. And of course, any plan with Godzilla Never goes right. So plan A, the sink him, happened. Everything went according to plan. And it just doesn't work. So they go into plan B to hurry up and lift him back up from the ocean floor to the top. Try to reverse calibration of the sink. Now, that worked. It really worked pretty good. When he came back up, his face was all annihilated. He was all tore up. Now, our main protagonist, that island when Godzilla was a Rex, that main mechanic, he blamed the protagonist for all their deaths. It could have been avoided. He would have shot them. He ended up forgiving him, and he worked on the plane that was going to lure Godzilla into this plan A and plan B situation. And he told them, I put a special thing in there for you. We all sort of kind of knew that it was going to be a escape plan, but it wasn't said. So, Godzilla, he flies into Godzilla. Let me start again, because we're missing a awesome part of this, right? Now, Godzilla's atomic breath. Here, it's called atomic heat wave, right? And when he does it, each dorsal extends out as it works up. It just extends right out. And then he sucks in, it seems like, the air around him. And then when he's ready to fire, it goes back, the dorsal comes back in. And then he sends in like a Kamehameha wave with an atomic bomb when it hits. And it is the most destructive blast out of any Godzilla. Forget Shin and his beam and his tail beam. Forget the Heisei version. Forget burning Godzilla's heat beam. Even show his little breath. This beam is incredible, mind-blowing. It is destructive. Now, he also is a quick guy. I gotta include this because he came into the city and he tore down this building like a wrestler moved. A quick little grapple to this building and just tore right through it. Now, the woman laying in the house with the main protagonist sees that Godzilla's coming. They're both trapped and they can't run, really, to outrun him. So she pushes him into an alleyway in between two buildings to save his life while she gets flung backwards. Boom. There we go. She's dead. A sad sacrifice. The main protagonist mourns. This is the reason why he is driving that airplane that's gonna stop Godzilla. He is gonna do a kamikaze final flight to avenge his love that he never got to express. Now this is all gonna build up. I jumped out of sequence because I'm getting a little worked out because this movie is amazing. So, Godzilla. And I want to point this little feature out too. He's more tan, like I pointed out from this figure, obviously. But when they show his feet when he walks, it looks like the scales on his feet are armor. I just wanted to point that little detail out. Maybe there'll be a Godzilla -2 minus one second part to this movie, and it'll show how much armor he has. But he's driving back to the point. He came back up from the water. The plan B didn't work. He's still alive, but he's damaged in the face. He's driving that plane straight in. Godzilla catches him, and he's got a bomb on it. But he hit the ejection seat. That was the point the mechanic pointed out to him. He didn't kamikaze his life. The mechanic wanted him to live. So the bomb explodes. He was all lit up from the heat ray, ready to explode it all. And the bomb explosion and the heat wave that was built up into him was like a nuclear reactor, and it just exploded. He was finished. Like the rays was coming right out of him. Nothing left. And then Godzilla's dead. So we thought. He's finished. So we see the pilot coming down. They get him, take him to the hospital. And then he gets a letter. He reads that letter and he goes. And there's the girl that was living with him. She survived. Now this is the point I gotta point out. She got blasted in that street. She got flown backwards. No way in hell should she be alive. Doesn't matter what she hit. She got flown backwards. It's not like she could protect her head. She got flown backwards like a big blast. 10, 15 feet up in the air. She should be dead by all means. The only gripe I really have with this movie. But she had something on her back of her neck, like a tattoo. Maybe a part of Godzilla, we don't know. And she's missing an eye. There was never no statement of Godzilla minus one, so I'm going to say Godzilla minus an eye. And then, at the end, we see some DNA start to form, bubble up. Godzilla regenerating himself again. He is the Wolverine of this verse, right? I mean, it's cool that Shin Godzilla can evolve around what's attacking him to counteract this. But he is literally Wolverine. Anything that happens to him can regenerate his body. So, Toho, please, please, please make a second movie of this. And like I said, I don't want this movie or this review to go any longer. I don't want it to be long as it is. I'm gonna cut it down, chop it up. Nobody wants a long review. So here we go, Godzilla minus one. Like I said, I was sad I didn't get the little minus one poster, or there was even a poster hanging up in the movie theater. But I do got the ticket. Godzilla minus one, 2 thumbs up. This was freaking amazing. The best, I'm going to say it right now. 10 out of 10. Maybe even 9.5. It's hard to say 10 out of 10. Let's go 9.5 out of 10. The best, hands down, Godzilla movie of all time. I'm not in just with the hype. This is the best. All right, GFan84. See you in the next.